Britain's Prime Minister is expected to lock horns with EU leaders over the migrant crisis at today's European Council summit. The French port of Calais witnessed chaos this week when hundreds of illegal migrants tried to sneak onto lorries bound for the UK, which were stranded by a strike. David Cameron responded with a call for tighter border controls.
There's totally unacceptable scenes that we've all been witnessing. We've been looking at whether we can put more personnel and indeed sniffer dog teams on that side of the channel to make a difference. And there's also more work being done in terms of installing fencing, not just around the port at Calais, but also around the Eurostar and Eurotunnel entrance.
Well, it's not only the UK which is up in arms over illegal migration across the EU. Several members of the bloc have rejected a system of quotas for accepting asylum seekers. RT's Polly Boyko reports from the migrant shanty town in Calais.
Since April, the number of migrants from Africa and the Middle East calling these sand dunes home has swollen to over 3,000. Aid workers here say they can't cope with the constant influx of new arrivals in the camp. They say it's grown so large that it's no longer safe. And there's no water, no electricity, and still no sanitation, which means that the conditions here are getting progressively worse.
Here, 20 days, no shower, food problem, sleeping 3 days, no sleeping, cold night.
The EU's plan for dealing with the migrant crisis is, in theory, to impose a so-called mandatory quota system, whereby each EU member state accepts a certain number of new arrivals. In practice, it's proven unpopular. First, Britain used a legal loophole to opt out. Then France and Germany complained, and most recently Poland, the Czech Republic, Hungary and Slovakia have called the proposed system unacceptable. Hungary says it's so overburdened with over 60,000 illegal migrants arriving already this year that it's now refused to take in any new migrants at all, breaking vital EU rules. The EU's executive body wants an explanation. The migrant crisis is testing the 28-member bloc's resolve and unity to its very limits. To keep the migrants camped in Calais out of the UK, the British government's helped put up this very fence in the port. Meanwhile, France has been stopping suspected illegal migrants along their normally open border with Italy. Hungary's building a wall a bit like this one along its frontier with Serbia. And in response to Hungary's refusal to take any more asylum seekers at all, Austria says it's considering reinstating checks on its border with Hungary. And while the political squabbling continues, the migrants, the so-called burden that needs to be shared, are undeterred by these walls and fences and are arriving in ever-increasing numbers to Europe. Reporting from Calais, I'm Polly Boyko.
Well, as France tightens its frontier with Italy, immigrants in the Italian border city of Ventimiglia have clashed with police. Refugees have been stranded along the coast after failing to get into France. Many want to join family members elsewhere in the EU, but Paris has stopped them, saying migrants are the responsibility of the country they first entered. Political science professor Pierre Goualin says the prospects for a European consensus on the problem look bleak.
On this front, at least, the European Union is more a wish than a reality. Even in the short term, it's not very likely that there will be a European solution. Maybe some states, and it's already the case for Sweden or Germany, some states are willing to have more refugees. But on the whole, I don't see Europeans agreeing about quotas, as the European Union suggested. And most probably each country will be left to deal with this particular problem on its own, with maybe some financial help from Europe, but probably not a general agreement.
French cabbies, angry at the taxi app Uber, have blocked roads leading to airports around Paris and the city's busy ring road. The blockade led to clashes with police. Well, the protesters say Uber is stealing customers and undercutting their wages. Vehicles suspected of using the app were overturned and had smoke bombs thrown at them. Uber's private drivers don't have to pay a costly taxi licensing fee, and unions claim it gives them an unfair competitive advantage. Well, the drama in Paris has had a ripple effect on social media. Some were on the side of the protesters, saying regulation of the taxi industry is vital to safety. Others saw the demons as a hypocritical attempt to crush healthy competition. There's even been a celebrity showing. Courtney Love apparently got sucked into the protest vortex. She took to Twitter to express anger over police inaction, saying she felt safer in Baghdad before describing her Hollywood-style getaway from the angry mob. Still ahead, millions of US taxpayers' dollars are lost as a government watchdog reveals Washington has sponsored schools in Afghanistan which may not even exist. And on strained nerves, Greece and its creditors stage last-ditch efforts to clinch a deal. That's as Athens threatens to swing its axe over its military budget.
The interview for tomorrow is confirmed. 10 a.m.
As the world prays, it is hoped that they will find a global solution to a global problem.
The people call for a total revamp of the system